Well, for those of you that don't know, this is the famous Malham Lone tree, set up in the Yorkshire Dales, surrounded by the remnants of a massive limestone pavement, which, by the way, is quite tricky to walk on. I have been up here in the winter, and it's even more tricky to walk on when it's wet. At least at the moment it's dry and there's grip. There's still lots of crevices, and I've trapped my foot already once. In fact, there we go again. And it's not very comfy to sit on. Oh. I overslept, which wasn't a good start. But as I drew closer, I realised that I wasn't going to get a sunrise anyway. The cloud is thick and heavy and generally fairly yucky. So I've parked up over the other side, walked up, and I've spent 15-20 minutes wandering around, lining up a composition that I was happy with. The classic composition, I believe, is the other side of the tree, pointing in that direction, and the tree then goes from the right-hand side of the image to the left. But the sky over there is even worse than the sky here. There's a lovely bright band in the middle of two thick, heavy grey clouds. So I've had a mooch around here, and although the intention was mono, I spotted a clump of bright yellow daisy type things. It's a weed, I'm just not quite sure what weed it is. And I thought it made a lovely splash of colour against the rather sombre greys and the greens and, yeah, the yucky sky. So I've gone back and tried focus stacking. I had a little bit of a problem using Photoshop for the woolly lone tree image that I did. So I ended up manually blending that one, which was a bit of trial and error. This one I think might be easier. So the first place that I've focused is right on this little plant. Now the shutter speed that I was getting was between 1/13 and 1/25 of a second. That's at ISO 100 and about 12 mil on the 10-20. I didn't want to bump the ISO up. So the plant itself is maybe not going to be 100% sharp, but certainly the rock formations on either side should be. I've then focused probably half the way into the image on the rocks, and then the final image was taken actually focused on probably halfway up the tree. So that should give me really nice front to back sharpness. They were all f13. I've then decided, because we had a little bit of movement in the sky, I would try for a long exposure, and for that one I kept the same settings, f13, ISO 100, but I focused a third of the way into the image. With the long exposure, for me the focus is mainly on the sky and the rocks as they go into the tree. With this particular composition, I've got rocks coming in at the bottom right hand and left hand side of the image itself, so that then leads you into the tree following the lines and the grooves in the limestone, so I think that'll work quite well. I have tried it in mono on the back of the screen, and I think there's enough contrast there. Black and white photography, mono photography, to me is about textures, contrasts, shapes, lines, and this place is perfect for it. Having been here now, I feel that winter would be a preferred time. At the moment you have lots of distractions. You've got ferns, you've got stinging nettles, you've got what look like they might be blackberries. As I say, you've got the bright yellow flowers, you've got grass growing up, and it kind of looks a bit busy. In the winter you get nothing. You've just got a bare tree, you've got bare rocks, and if you can get a decent sky, it works perfectly as a mono image. And then it's time to go and have some breakfast, because throwing some food down your neck at 4 o'clock in the morning, and it's now about, I don't know, 10:30. I'm beginning to feel like it's lunchtime. The one good thing about it being overcast and dull is the light is still fairly good. I'm not a fan of shooting in broad daylight. It's taken me a long time to see good light, and I tend to find the brightness of the day, once the sun has risen and you've gone through golden hour, the light quality becomes fairly harsh. Today I think we're doing a lot better, because as I say, the cloud is hiding the sun. It's up there somewhere. so the light is staying relatively soft. So even as a colour image, I think this will be okay. So anyway, catch up with you in a minute. A much needed cup of tea. One thing I have learned over the years is a little camping stove, bottle of water, some fabulous little sachets of lactose-free milk, kind of little green triangular cartons, absolutely brilliant. They keep forever and it's much easier than carrying a pint of milk around. And a pot of porridge, because I'm hungry. So it's not been a complete waste this morning. Not the morning I was expecting, but I seem to recall not many mornings are the mornings I expected. The mono image that I had in mind, I think I've managed to capture. Finding the little clump of yellow flowers was an added bonus. The one thing I do always do when I'm doing a long exposure, whether I'm going to convert to mono or not, always change the kelvins to 10,000. It just makes my life so much easier in Photoshop. If I decide to keep it colour, I don't have to adjust the colour balance or the white balance. If I decide to go mono, it just seems to work a lot better. So, I don't know where I'm going for the next one. It's play it by ear each weekend. I'm really hoping that the next weekend I have away, I won't be in the car. But you'll find out more about that probably in about 2 weeks. Or by the time you're watching this, you might have found out about it a week ago. It's the only problem with doing vlogs a couple of weeks in advance of when they go out. I kind of forget the time scale. So it's a beautifully peaceful morning up here. Even though it's not sunny, it's still 16, 17 degrees. I've seen one other car and 3 sets of pedal cyclists, and it's so quiet. Here we go, more cyclists. They're mad, they are. You need an engine on one of those. Good Lord. So anyway, I'm going to have my breakfast and then I'm going to poodle off home and do domestics. So thank you very much for watching. Thanks for all the comments and the subscriptions and the questions. I try my best to answer everybody. Might not be able to do it immediately, but things get in the way sometimes. So I hope you all have a good Sunday. Catch up with you soon. Bye.